Hi everyone, welcome to Medicine for the Soul. I'm Sarah and this is your 5-minute beginner downward facing dog video. Even if you are not familiar with yoga or fitness at all, it's very likely that you have seen or heard of this pose before. So we'll talk about how to get in, how to get out, and what we do when we're in the pose. So beginning on all fours, fingers are spread nice and wide. Hips are over your knees, shoulders over your wrists. A common way to get into downward facing dog is to be instructed to inhale, tuck your toes, and exhale, push back into downward facing dog. So what that means is that we're lifting our knees off of the mat and pushing our hips up and back, and also lifting off with our hands. So we're pushing the mat away from us while we're here. Once you get into this pose, you can feel free to pedal your feet out, also called walking the dog. And we're really going to imagine that the backs of our legs are reaching for the space behind us while keeping our hips lifted up and back, and really pushing with strong arms the mat away from us. And you'll typically be here anywhere from 3 to 5 breaths, depending on the class. If you are taking a power flow class or something more intense, you'll be here for a shorter amount of time. And ways that we come out of this pose are to, on the exhale, bring your knees to the mat, and you'll either come back into all fours from here, or you'll go into a child's pose. Or from here, you'll go into a forward fold. So what that looks like is to look forward, and after an exhale, we're walking forward into the forward fold, or we're coming into a halfway lift, which is exactly what it sounds like, lifting halfway up. Another way you might come out of this pose is to bring either your left or right foot up towards your hand, coming into a lunge, or maybe even a warrior one. Another way that we come into this pose is by being on our belly. So let's wave forward, another transition here, into a plank, and lower down to the mat. So we're on our bellies. And if we're here and our hands are under the shoulders, we may be instructed to inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, downward facing dog. So at that time, you can come onto your knees, tuck your toes, and then go into a downward facing dog. You may or may not be able to have flat feet here. Some days I can, some days I can't. Totally fine and normal. And for today, to come out of this pose, we'll bring our knees to the mat, and you can come to sit back on your heels. I hope you learned something and enjoyed, and I will see you next time.